kids, it's Kim, your Hy-Vee dietitian, and I'm going to read a book to you today called Froggy Bakes a Cake. Froggy Bakes a Cake by Jonathan London and illustrated by Frank Remkowitz. It was Froggy's mother's birthday. Froggy was outside making mud pies. "Froggy!" called his father. "What?" "Help me bake a cake for your mother." "Oh, please," cried Froggy, "I want to do it all by myself." So Froggy flopped into the kitchen. Flop, flop, flop. "You'll need flour," said his father, "and sugar and chocolate." "I know," cried Froggy, and he pushed his chair up against the counter and climbed up. He took down the flour, he took down the sugar, he took down all the chocolate candy his mother had hidden since Halloween. "We need lots of flour and lots of sugar," said Froggy, and he dumped a large bag of flour and a whole box of sugar into a big yellow bowl. "We need lots and lots of chocolate," said Froggy, and he dumped in 10 handfuls of chocolate-covered flies. "We need milk too," said Froggy's father. "I know," cried Froggy, and he flopped to the fridge, flop, 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 and grabbed a carton of milk. Whoops, it dropped on his foot and spilled. "And eggs and butter," added his father. "I know," cried Froggy. He snatched a carton of eggs. Whoops, he only broke 4 or 5. And just 1 stick of butter fell on the floor. "Don't forget the baking powder," said his father. "I know," cried Froggy, and he climbed up and took down the baking powder. He cracked 7 eggs into the bowl. Crack, 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 crack. Only a few shells fell in. He put in the butter, blurp, and poured in the milk, glug, glug, glug. And finally, he dumped in the whole box of baking powder. Shoop. "Time to mix it all together," said his father. "I know," cried Froggy, and he stirred and slopped it and mixed and plopped it. Then he dumped all the goopy cake batter into a cake pan and shoved the cake into the oven. And he sang, "Oogly boogly burbly bake, I make and I bake and I wait for the cake." "Froggy!" called his father. "What?" "While you wait for the cake to bake, help me blow up the balloons." Froggy helped to blow up the balloons. He blew, and he blew, and he blew, pop. "Now," said his father, "help me set the table." Froggy helped set the table. Oops, he knocked over the lemonade, and the paper party tablecloth got a little wet. "Froggy!" called his mother. "What?" "What smells so good?" "It's a surprise!" yelled Froggy, and he flopped back to the kitchen. Flop, flop, flop. "Come and get it!" hollered Froggy. Froggy's mother and father flopped in and slid across the buttery floor. And Froggy said, "Are you ready?" And he opened the oven door. "Yikes! The cake exploded!" yelped Froggy's father. "Whoops!" cried Froggy, looking a little more red in the face than green. Too much baking powder, I guess." "It's good though," said his father, licking his fingers. "Wait," cried Froggy, "I'll be right back." Flop, flop, flop. "Happy birthday, Mom," he said, and he handed her a fresh mud pie with a candle in it. "I made it all by myself." "Oh, Froggy," said his mother, "this is the best birthday pie I've ever had." "What a mess," said Froggy's father. "Let's go out to celebrate." "Great," said Froggy. "Yes," said Froggy's mother. And together, they leapfrogged all the way to the bakery. Flop, flop, flop. Hey kids, we just listened to Froggy Bakes a Cake, and now you get to make a little cake of your own. So we're starting with, thank you for holding my banana, Froggy. We just take 1 small ripe banana. I put that in my bowl already. And I just used a fork to smash it all up. This is kind of fun. You can even put it in a baggie and smash it if you want to. But you get it all nice and smush, smush, smushed. To make it a little bit sweeter, we're gonna add a few tablespoons of brown sugar. This is kind of a treat, you know. Give that a little bit of a mix. We've got 1 egg. I always crack it into a cup first in case any shells fall in. Not like Froggy, we don't want a bunch of shells in our cake. Give that a little mix. Some more wet ingredients. We've got 1 tablespoon of milk. This seems like just a little bit of ingredients, but we're making just enough for 2 little tiny cakes. and a tablespoon of oil. That all mixed together. It starts to smell like banana bread almost. And then I have this little bowl with some dry ingredients. This is 3 tablespoons of flour, a little dash, about a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and ground nutmeg. I have that in there. And then, remember how Froggy dumped in all the baking soda? Well, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna use a little bit. The smallest measuring spoon you probably have is a 1/4 cup, and you only need half of that amount, almost just a pinch. So about half of a 1/4 teaspoon is what you need for this recipe of both baking soda and baking powder. That way it'll raise a little bit, but it won't explode. Mix that together a little bit. That goes into the wet ingredients. Give that a little stir. Switch to a spoon here. And since we don't have any chocolate covered flies, we're going to use mini chocolate chips. We'll just put a couple tablespoons of those in there. Chocolate and banana are so good together. Now our batter is ready to go, and instead of putting it in a cake pan like you would when you're making a large cake, we're going to bake this in the microwave in a coffee mug. This actually makes enough for 2. It's really important to take a little cooking spray and squirt the inside really well so that it rises up and then it will come out of the cup. Otherwise it sticks to the cup and makes a big mess. So each cup get half of the batter. Like so. And then the cup will go in the microwave anywhere from a minute and a half to 2 minutes, depending on how powerful your microwave is. And then when it comes out, you can watch it as it bakes. It'll raise almost up to the top like it's going to overflow. But then as soon as the heat comes off and it beeps, it goes right back down to the bottom like a little muffin. And then you can eat it right out of the cup, or you can put it out on a plate. So we're gonna stick that in the microwave. So once your cake is cooked, you can eat it right out of the cup, or you can serve it up on a plate for a fun little treat.